Alrighty, we're going to get started here. Thanks everyone for joining us this morning. We're really excited to host this webinar alongside of Walmart and Deliverr. Once again, my name is Ian Leslie. I'm with SellerActive and I'm a senior sales consultant over here. Walmart and Deliverr are two great partners of ours, and today we have both Amit Chaudhary and Michael Krakaris joining us. We're really excited to cover how SellerActive, alongside of Walmart and Deliverr, is providing great options for people to, essentially expand past Amazon and into some other sales channels. For those of you who don't know, Deliverr is essentially like an FBA type service with 3PLs and fulfillment options for both eBay and Walmart, and is really helping people increase sales and increase visibility on a lot of different channels. It's a really awesome platform. It integrates directly with us, and we've been seeing great results for our customers. Really excited to have Michael share that. Walmart. Everyone knows about Walmart. Walmart is doing great for our customers as well. We've been lucky to be integrated with them for quite a while. And without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Amit, who's going to handle their side of things. He'll then pass it to Michael. SellerActive will wrap it up at the end. Just an FYI, we will have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar. We also have some folks that are chatting throughout. And so if you have questions, feel free to put them in, and we'll select some at the end, and also we can have them answered throughout this. So without further ado, Amit, I'll pass it over to you, and thanks everyone again for joining us.
Sure. Thank you, Van. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Amit, and I lead the free two-day program at Walmart Marketplace. Now, I'm very excited to bring this massive opportunity for our marketplace sellers, to help them grow further on our platform. So let me go ahead and share all the information regarding this program that will help you to be a part of this journey and gain the maximum benefit. Now, in today's session, the key topics that I will be covering are: I'll give you a program overview, what is a two-day shipping program and why as a seller you should be interested in it, what are the key benefits, and then we'll talk about what are the key eligibility criteria, how exactly can you participate, and what are the enrollment steps. Finally, we'll walk you through the performance aspect of the program. Once you're live into this program, how exactly can you track your performance through the portal, and ensuring that you're delivering the orders within the 2 days, and details about reporting and the analytics. So with that, let's get started. So what is a free two-day shipping program? This is the program that guarantees our customer delivery within 2 business days. Now, to give you a little more background about this program, we started this program on the Walmart platform way back in 2017 with our 1P owned items. We had a huge success with that. Customer loved the aspect of receiving the orders within 2 days, and that was also the industry standard. In 2018, last year, we wanted to expand this offering to our marketplace sellers. We did a pilot with the selected sellers, and it was a huge success. The kind of conversion rates, the kind of GMV lift they had was amazing. And with that, we wanted to open this program to everyone starting this year. And that's where here I am to give you all the details about this program. Now, let's talk about the advantages of this specific program. What are the key features and the advantages? The first one is the regional shipping settings. This feature provides all the sellers the flexibility to decide in which state you want to offer two-day based on the region and the state. So if you enable a few SKUs for California, only the customers in California will see that two-day flag. So you have that flexibility across the United States. Whichever states you have the warehouses, you can do that. The second great benefit is the increased product visibility. Now, what this does is it gives you a search boost as well as a filter inclusion for all the SKUs which are participating in the two-day program. Again, which helps you to increase your conversion and get that GMV uplift. Finally, the biggest benefit that a seller gets in this is the buy box prominence. All the participating SKUs will get the buy box prominence, which is a better chance of winning the buy box and getting that conversion and the GMV uplift. Okay, so let's talk about these advantages in more details and see exactly what each one means. Now, with the increased product visibility, here we have a marketplace seller which has put a conditioner on a 2-day flag. So all the SKUs which are on the 2-day program receives a banner, which is the 2-day shipping banner, so that customers can see and make their decision. It would help in the conversion. The next advantage is the filter inclusion. So customers tend to shortlist the SKUs with respect to 2-day shipping because they want to see the items which they can receive fast and which sellers are selling those specific items. So you get the filter inclusion as well as the search boost. All the SKUs on the 2-day program will get the search prominence in this program. Finally, the last one, which I said, this is the biggest one, which is the buy box prominence. So this specific product is on the 2-day program. It has got the tag on the item page. And if you see other offers from the other sellers, they are at a lower price, but yet this specific SKU is winning the buy box because it is delivering faster. All the other options which are there are taking longer time to fulfill and reach to our customers. So we want to encourage sellers who are into this program and give them this specific benefit, which would ultimately lead to getting more conversion. With that, now let's talk about, we've learned what the program is, we've learned what exactly are their advantages. Let's talk about fulfillment. How exactly can you fulfill these orders if you are in this program? There are 2 ways you can do that. One, you can continue to leverage your own fulfillment network, your carriers which you have, which is shipped by yourself, which is seller fulfilled. If you do not have that flexibility that you can deliver within 2 days, you can leverage our trusted partner, Deliverr, which gives you the opportunity to fulfill those orders within 2 days. And not only that, it will also help you to put your SKUs across the United States on the 2-day program, which gives higher impressions and greater conversion. Again, Michael is here with us. He will be talking in detail about what are those steps and how exactly you can do that. So let's learn about, if you were to use seller fulfilled, what exactly are the key steps and how this whole program works. So there are 5 key steps. Number 1 is you need to be eligible to be participating in this program. And what is the eligibility criteria? We'll learn in detail in the next step. This is just an overview. The second is, once you're eligible, you request access into the program within Seller Center. Our team within Walmart reviews that request, and then you are accepted. The third is the configuration of the SKUs of the 2-day program, which means what SKUs you want to put on the 2-day program. Is it the whole assortment? Is it specific SKUs, or you want to customize it? You have all sorts of options which you can play around. Finally, once you've applied that configuration, you'll get the 2-day flag, wherein you have a checklist. You want to ensure you did A, B, C steps correctly. You'll get that flag. And finally, once you're up and ready, the orders starts coming in, and then you need to track your performance and ensure that you're delivering on that specific promise. So let's look into detail on each of those steps and try to understand what each means. Step number one is the eligibility criteria. Now, the key metrics which we look at in terms of deciding which seller can participate in this program are the on-time shipment, the on-time delivery, and valid tracking at an account level should be greater than 95%. The seller cancellation rate at an account level should be less than 1.5%, and it should be for the last 30 days. The seller should be on the platform for at least 90 days and should have minimum 100 orders. And the reason we have this criteria, it gives us enough transactions to evaluate how a seller is performing. Now, there's a good news. If you are a new seller and you just joined Walmart, but yet to be on, and you still want to be on this program, you can directly collaborate with Deliverr. We pre-approve those sellers who are participating with them because they ensure the 2-day delivery and have been working greatly with us. So that's on the eligibility. Let's try to understand once you're eligible and where, before I hop on to this specific step, where can you see the eligibility? Within Seller Center in the fulfillment insights, you can select your last 30 days and you can see your account performance, how exactly you're doing on these metrics. If you are above the eligibility criteria, you'll be accepted. You can send the request within Seller Center, wherein you can navigate through settings within shipping and then send the request. Within 48 hours, you'll receive a response from Walmart. Either you're accepted or you can retry getting into the program after 15 days, wherein if you have improved your metrics and performance. Okay, so we've learned what is the eligibility. We have learned how do you enroll into the program. The third step is how do you configure. There are 3 simple basic steps. Number 1, you define your assortment. Number 2 is you define which states or region you want to enable today SKUs. And finally, you have to set the lag time value to 0 for all the participating SKUs. And note, the lag time should be updated using the lag time feed within the item spec and not the inventory feed. More details, how exactly that can be done, is within the KB article, which is the link is at the bottom. But let me give you an overview. If you were to choose an option, so there are different options how you can go about it based on your custom needs. Option A, if you want to put your entire assortment on today, it's a very user-friendly feature within Seller Center. You select your entire assortment within Seller Center, you put the lag times to 0, and you're done. Option B, when let's say 95% of your assortment you want to put on today, but you want to define few customizations. So you can do that going into Seller Center, selecting your entire assortment on today, and you can define those exceptions, the 5% of the SKUs which you do not want to put on today, or you want to put it for specific other states. You can do that using shipping program overrides, and then apply the lag times to be 0. The third, which is a highly customizable feature, wherein you just want to put few specific SKUs for a specific states within the program on the today. You can do that using the shipping program overrides and then applying the lag time as 0. So again, choose the option which suits your business the most, and then you can define those processes. The last thing before I move further, use the lag time feed to update the lag time value as 0 and not the inventory feed. That will be very helpful. Now, this is a kind of a checklist. Once you've done all those steps, how do you ensure that you'll get that flag? Number 1, you should be enrolled. Number 2, you should have defined the regions where you want to see the two-day flags for the respective customers. Number 3, your lag time should be 0 and your default shipping fee should be 0, which should be unchanged. If all these conditions are true for a specific SKU, the banner will be appearing on the website, and which will lead to the higher conversion. Okay, so now that you're all ready, you all know how to enable the SKUs, get them on the website, orders are coming in. How do you track your performance? Within Fulfillment Insights, there is a Reporting Insights page, which breaks down the performance by today. You can see how you're performing on these metrics in a time period of 7, 14, and 30 days. Again, helps you to see in a short term and a longer term how the program is doing. At Walmart, we do weekly evaluations on this program, how the sellers are doing who are participating. And the reason is because today is a very short period and we want to ensure that the sellers are delivering on the promise. And based on that, we take decisions in terms of either if somebody is not meeting the SLA, they will be suspended, and the multiple suspensions would lead to blockage from the program. So I'm very sure you would be delivering on time and adhering to the customer promise. So that's how this whole program works. And like I said, we have our partnership with Deliverr, who have been very great in terms of ensuring that they deliver orders on today. I'll let Michael talk about how the Deliverr model works. And if you are interested, I would highly encourage you to take this route.
Hey guys, so we'll talk a little bit about the Deliverr side of things now. And as I start talking, don't worry, you can just put in questions in the question feed to your right. And then we'll either answer them while I'm talking, or we'll take for a few longer questions sometime at the end of this to answer them. So we're going to look at 3 key pieces. Number 1, we're just going to look at case studies in terms of, how does this impact sellers today? And for the sellers on Deliverr, what has kind of been the impact? Number 2 would be the flywheel effect. So we'll talk a little bit about that. It's actually related to one of the case studies. Number 3, we'll talk about how do you get started with the Deliverr and Walmart integration. And so going into it first, across the board with sellers on Deliverr, and this is just looking at the Walmart side of things, we've seen around 156% average sales boost. So that's around a 2.5x difference in sales. When we look at this in terms of certain verticals where you see above that, you're looking at health and beauty and toys. In terms of verticals that typically sit below that 156% boost, that's going to be like apparel or any listings that have a lot of variance. You're not going to see as big a bump in the sales boost. You'll still see maybe 20-30%, but you're not going to see some of the numbers that you're seeing up here. And so it's good to know, okay, based on your product selection, based on the verticals you're in, based on the competition, to kind of get an idea and kind of set expectations in terms of what you're thinking from a sales lift piece. So we're going to look at 3 different sellers. So we're going to talk a little bit about the flywheel effect with Earthwise bags. Then we're going to talk about sourcing techniques with Red Fox Retail. Then third, we're going to talk about the ability to test and iterate on new SKUs. And so the first strategy we're going to talk about is this flywheel effect. And this was something that we saw from Earthwise Bags. And Earthwise Bags is a top 1,000 Amazon seller, and they're a private label seller. So they sell grocery bags, basically reusable grocery bags, a lot of different variants within there. And for them, they were able to get to 800 orders monthly within pretty much exactly 3 months of getting started. But we'll talk about kind of what that growth trajectory looked like, because for a lot of sellers, you're going to have to think of, okay, try this out for around 3 months total before you have a good idea around the sales impact. So first piece is kind of the general growth model that most sellers should be familiar with. And that's essentially that, better adding 2-day shipping and adding ads on your products. Part of this, you do get access to the Walmart ads platform, so you can do that. You can get better visibility in your listings. When you get better visibility on your listings, you're going to get more sales. Now, as you get more sales, it gives you more money to reinvest into adding more items on 2-day shipping, or either expanding your advertising budget. And so this is the general, the general loop that pretty much everybody's familiar with. But then what we saw was this outer circle, where not only does more sales give you more money to reinvest in 2-day shipping tags and more ad spend on your products, but also it lets you get more reviews. And so, when you get more reviews, your listings are going to index higher on Walmart. And as they index higher on Walmart, that's going to further augment your visibility. And so you see this effect where you're getting more sales, and you see this logarithmic growth function. And that's really cool. And so we'll talk about Earthwise Bags in terms of how that happened. So month 1, what he did is he put essentially his entire catalog, which isn't too many SKUs. So he put the most of it on 2-day shipping. And he put it on 2-day shipping. He also went and he invested a bit on the ad side of things to get everything up and running. And month 1, that's how many orders it was. It was just 69 orders. So wasn't anything spectacular. It was just pretty much getting his catalog up and seeing initial sales come in. Then what we saw was month 2 is people started responding, and he started seeing the initial results from Walmart 2-day and ads. And there, what we saw was that initial bump. So then we saw 346 orders in month 2. And that's that inner circle that we were talking about, where you're getting a little bit more visibility. From more visibility, you're getting more sales. And with the extra sales, he's actually taking that money and he's putting that into his ad budget. Then we see the last outer wheel, where not only is he getting more sales on them, but the better sales is generating more reviews. And the more reviews is giving better sales indexing on his listings. That's leading to better visibility. And when you got the full flywheel effect, you see this really exponential function where now this is a search on just reusable grocery bags. You can see he's showing up everywhere on page 1. And that ability took him from 346 orders to 800 orders monthly, where now this is actually becoming a substantial business for him. And this is a seller, again, that went completely net new to Walmart. He applied to Walmart, got on Deliverr, and this was their growth trajectory. So, he stuck with it. He made sure that his listings were optimized. He made sure he was able to get reviews. He made sure he was able to advertise things. So he did all the things that you have to do. And he was patient. He waited 3 months. And then from there, he really started seeing the impact of everything at that month 3, and when the flywheel effect was really moving. If you talk to like the top Amazon sellers or you talk to the top Amazon advertisers, they're going to talk about this flywheel effect for the Amazon side of the business. And so we've seen that very similarly take effect here on Walmart side. Now we'll talk about Red Fox Retail, and this is another type of strategy, a little bit different because we're looking more at the supply chain here, which really we're going to talk about the sourcing piece. And so Red Fox Retail has a really interesting business model, and that they go and they source name brands, and so they mainly focus in dentist products. So for them, they resell like Oral-B toothbrushes, Panasonic, things like that. And if you look at Walmart, the 1P coverage on Walmart is very different from the 1P coverage on Amazon. And it presents a lot of opportunities for sellers. And so here you can see what Oral-B replacement toothbrush heads is not in the 1P selection. And so for someone like Red Fox Retail, he's able to capture all those sales. And there's a few other resellers competing for this, but he's the only one with the 2-day badge and with 2-day badge nationally with Deliverr. And so he's able to get his listings to the top of search fairly easily. And immediately you see a triple in sales for him. Now, this talks about a really important strategy for resellers in particular as you start looking at Walmart, which is to understand that the 1P coverage in Walmart is not the same as Amazon. And so with this Red Fox Retail case, we talked about Oral-B toothbrushes. Now, I was doing some other searches and I found a lot of other brands that you'd expect would be 1P in Walmart, but they aren't. So that presents a tremendous opportunity for you guys to go source those items, put them on 2-day, and start capturing those really high traffic searches that are going on Walmart. So Method Soap was one I saw. Another one, then I saw a bunch of others. I saw Nike, I saw Skechers, I saw Axe Shampoo, a lot of different health and beauty brands. So these are brands that if you have access to this inventory into these name brands, and maybe you've shied away from it on Amazon because that's owned by Amazon and there's too much competition there, I would definitely look at sourcing those brands for Walmart because the coverage is a lot different. So then we'll go to our last case study, which is Equinox International. So Equinox is a really interesting one. I'd actually invite you guys to read this on our website. Equinox is one of the fastest growing sellers right now. And for them, primarily Amazon business, but they're pretty good on the Walmart side. They were able to take things from a 3-figure sales per day to a 4-figure sales per day within a month. And so they were pretty fast. Now, the way they do it and the way we'll talk about it, they're actually a private label brand, but they're able to source quite a few different items. So they were able to rapidly test using this Deliverr platform. So what they were able to do is put an item on 2-day, sponsor that listing, and very quickly figure out, as they get these listings to a lot of buyers, is this catching on with the Walmart buyer base or is it not? And they would basically run a cycle of every 30 days. So they'd see, okay, how's this towel SKU doing? Is it getting a good amount of sales? If it is doing a good amount of sales, then they would do is this. They would source another very similar item. So they'd source another type of kitchen towel, like a different fabric. Then they'd source another type of kitchen towel with another different fabric. And they would run this in repeated cycles of 30 days, adding more and more items to the Walmart website. So they were able to expand SKU selection pretty fast that way. They were able to figure out what within their Amazon catalog works for their Walmart catalog, and kind of talks about the idea of when you come in here, if you have a little bit of a larger catalog, even if you're private label, you should go and use this platform to really test out, is a SKU really going to sell well in Walmart or not? Because you're going to get it in front of 2-day shipping with the 2-day shipping visibility, and you're going to get sponsored products on it. So you can really get in front of a lot of people. So now we've talked through a few of the different case studies, and if you have questions on either of the case studies, we can talk through it in the Q&A. We'll talk a little about how to get on this program, like what are the steps, because Amit laid out some of the steps for self-fulfilling. Now the steps for using Deliverr are very different, and they're actually a lot simpler. So in terms of like how does it work, these were all the steps that Amit mentioned, but for Deliverr, all these steps are pretty much handled by us. So number one is the approval. You automatically get approved for 2-day shipping. There's no having to go through a trial period. You don't have to have fulfilled a certain number of orders. None of that. You don't need it. As long as you're already approved to sell on Walmart, you can go use Deliverr, and then as you activate onboard with Deliverr, there'll just be a little section in your account under fast tags which says activate Walmart free 2-day shipping. Just follow the steps to do that, and you'll be automatically opted into the program. Then we go to the second piece where Amit was talking about if you're self-fulfilling, you have to make sure you're showing the badge right. Now, with Deliverr, all that's automatically done, and it's done in real time. So think about using FBA and how FBA is always updating the Prime badge on Amazon. That's very similar to Deliverr. We're automatically updating the badge on the Walmart side of things. So it should be very intuitive, very straightforward. And so and then finally is just managing orders and making sure that like if a buyer cancels that you can do that. So that's what I'd say is the biggest piece here. Then if we go to, okay, what are the actual steps? We've simplified all these steps into 3 pieces. Number 1 is connecting Deliverr to SellerActive. Number 2 is sending inventory to Deliverr. And number 3 is opting into 2-day via Deliverr. And we'll walk through each of these 3 different steps. Number 1 is just, we're gonna create, you're just gonna create a Deliverr account and just say, hey, I wanna connect SellerActive to Deliverr. We provide the steps on how to do that. It should be pretty straightforward. If you have questions, you can either email onboarding@Deliverr, or you can email your SellerActive account manager or sales rep who can kind of run you through the steps. Everything is pre-integrated. So it's just a plug and play integration. You connect it, that should be done within 30 seconds. Then we'll import all your products from SellerActive, and now it comes to actually sending inventory into Deliverr. So on the products you import from SellerActive, you're gonna wanna select which products you want to send, and this is gonna be a very similar flow to FBA. You're gonna have to send to around 4 locations. And we're gonna tell you which locations to send to and how much of each SKU you should send to. And you can send with Amazon barcodes, you can send with Deliverr barcodes, you can send with UPCs. That part's really easy. You're gonna have to input box level content, so very similar to that FBA prep process. The way we've designed it is that essentially your FBA prep team could do Deliverr prep and really not need too much new training. It should be pretty much the exact same requirements to get started and up and running with Deliverr. 3 is opting into Walmart 2-day and Deliverr. Then you have to go to the fast tags piece, which I talked about, and just click, you know what, I wanna get into this program, and then we're gonna tell you the steps to do that. Once you activate this fast tag, you're gonna see tags show up on all your different Walmart listings. And that's it. So after that, you're gonna see the tag, you're gonna see orders come in. They're gonna map to our Walmart 2-day orders. So make sure when you're looking at our cost calculator to look at our Walmart 2-day order rates. Our pricing, which we'll talk about a little bit later, is fixed rate. So it's gonna be similar to like multi-channel FBA rates if you guys are used to that. And then that's it. And then everything's gonna run automated. We'll automatically update tracking information into SellerActive. SellerActive will obviously manage the listings and make sure inventory is properly set on Walmart, and really everything else works from there. So with that, we'll hand it over to SellerActive, which can talk about the listing side of things.
Thanks, Michael. As you guys can see, Deliverr's put a lot of thought into how they interact with these different marketplaces, and Walmart has obviously put a lot of thought into providing customers the best experience that they can have with their free 2-day shipping module. SellerActive is the thing that fits in the middle to make all this possible. And so, essentially with our platform, we are a channel management solution. I know a lot of you already utilize us. And what we do is make it really easy to list your products out to marketplaces in a timely manner. We can push products to Amazon, Walmart, and eBay simultaneously. And once those products are there, we have pricing algorithms and pricing rules that you can set up to ensure you're staying competitive. Essentially, with our platform, we are going to automate all the workflows for you. And so when you're utilizing Deliverr, the integration works, as Michael said, it's a plug and play thing. So when you get integrated with us, we'll be integrated with Deliverr as well. And all of your workflows are going to automate directly from us. So Deliverr will speak to us, we'll talk to Walmart, and we'll pass information back and forth to both marketplaces. People like using us because we help you expand your e-commerce reach. We help you optimize listings with not only the automated repricing tools we have, but we've released some awesome content management tools as well that you can use to kind of fine tune and tweak your listings. Most importantly, as you guys have seen throughout this webinar, the free 2-day shipping is providing a lot of opportunity for people to capture, buy boxes and a lot of visibility on the Walmart marketplace. And what SellerActive has is an algorithmic buy box method that will essentially help you optimize your price and not sell for the lowest price possible, but figure out as much money as you can sell your product for to capture the Walmart buy box. So essentially what we do is when you get going with Deliverr, this is how we work with them. Essentially, as Michael said, you just enter in your credentials there. It is a plug and play integration. Deliverr is going to send us all the quantity updates that they have with products that they have on their warehouse floor. With SellerActive, we'll take those products, list them out to the different channels for you, and then we'll set up automatic repricing to help you stay competitive and drive your prices up while you have the buy box captured. Once the sale is made on the marketplace with our repricing and the 2-day shipping tags, we're going to take that order, send it back to Deliverr. Deliverr will then update tracking information to us, which we will then push up to the marketplace for you. So it really is a straightforward integration. It's very easy to set up. Deliverr has made it really convenient to work with them and get that going for our sellers. As Michael referred to, you can always reach out to a SellerActive rep or to support@selleractive.com if you have any questions whatsoever on how that integration works, or if you're running into issues setting it up or anything like that. So, I mean, most of you I think are already utilizing SellerActive, but if you aren't and you're asking why you should use it, there are quite a few different reasons, and one big one for us is that when you put our repricing into place, you'll see an average of 22% growth in your revenue within your first 60 days of use. Now that combined with Deliverr's, access to free 2-day shipping, as well as Walmart's opportunity to provide visibility to people that are utilizing the free 2-day shipping, can significantly increase as well. Another reason you should use us is because it's really easy to put your products in and get them listed out to channels. So you put your product information in our system, we'll automatically push it to Amazon, eBay, and Walmart simultaneously for you. And in conjunction with Deliverr and all of the other tools that you're receiving, it's going to be really straightforward to not only increase sales, but make sure you're staying competitive on them. And that's where the automated repricing really comes into place. For Walmart in particular, we see a 72% buy box capture rate. And so you can imagine with the 2-day shipping option that you're going to have available, you're going to see a tremendous increase in your sales at a higher price point. So we're not going to just drive prices down for you like a lot of other companies do. Our algorithmic methods help you actually drive the prices up. At this point, I mean, really, we just have some different promos available for our sellers that we can kind of go over. Really exciting for us is that if you're a new SellerActive customer, your first 2 months, if you're using Deliverr, are going to be 50% off. So if you want to take advantage of that promo, certainly feel free to just reach out to us. Mention that you saw this webinar, that you're a Deliverr user, and you'll get 50% off your first 2 months with us. In regards to Deliverr promos, Michael, you could take it away with that.
Yeah. So for SellerActive sellers, we're going to do 3 months of free storage. And the way this will happen is that inventory needs to be received before March 31st. You have around a month to get inventory into Deliverr. And then storage use will be refunded at the end of each month. And so that's a really big one. Just make sure you can get inventory in before March 31st. That's the big date for any of the SellerActive sellers. This is only for SellerActive users. Number 2 is that we have special pricing for Walmart free 2-day shipping orders. So these are heavily discounted rates. They should be competitive. Now they're more than FBA for Amazon rates, but they're going to be less than FBA multi-channel rates. So they're going to sit in between those 2 different FBA rates. Really important that you guys understand that piece. And so like for an iPhone case, you can see it'll be $525 nationwide 2-day coverage on continental US. And so that's the entire fee for that, for a unit of that item. So you'll be able to see this on our cost calculator. You'll also be able to see this if you create a Deliverr account and we import all your products. You'll see cost previews for every single item. Just make sure to look at the Walmart 2-day rates. Last thing we have is access to Walmart performance ads. So when you get started with Deliverr, you're going to get exclusive access to the Walmart ads platform. So only a few sellers have access to this. So essentially, you would put a budget on an item, and you'd be able to run campaigns. This is a certain item where you can see it's like a dog bowl. It helps them get a little bit better visibility in search. We talked about this a lot in our flywheel effect. Ads is a really critical piece. If you really want to invest on the Walmart side, I suggest doing the 2-day shipping piece and then also investing in ads. Again, it comes down to 3 months. And you really want to make sure in those 3 months that you're really putting everything you can into this to give your business on Walmart the best chance of really becoming meaningful. And with that, we can go to Q&A. And so for questions on Deliverr, you can email info@deliverr.com. For questions on SellerActive, you can email support@selleractive.com. And I believe from there, we'll start routing questions, right, Ian?
Yep. Yeah, thanks everyone for all of the questions we got. We got quite a few, and we're going to do our best to answer as many as we can with the time that we have remaining, which is about 25 minutes. We're just going to start from the top of the list, and if people want to jump in and take them, feel free to do so. A lot of them are kind of, I guess, company specific, so we'll be able to get those addressed. And so the first one that came in was for sellers with unique products that control their brand/market and don't worry about winning the buy box, will 2 days still have benefits with ranking and such? And so Amit or Michael, I think one of you can handle that piece.
I could take this one, and let me actually go back to, let's go to Earthwise Bags on this one, because this one's really good. So here, right? So here you can see, I mean, Earthwise Bags, this is all private label piece. And so he's his own brand, but this is a search term on reusable shopping bag. And so even as a private label brand, I mean, you're not just going to rank for brand terms. I mean, in the end, ranking for brand terms is nice, but there's not going to be that much traffic going to your brand terms. So you have to rank either your private label or your reseller on these competitive search terms. And so for Earthwise Bags, that is reusable shopping bags. If we go over to Equinox Trading, that term is going to be kitchen towels. And so 2-day shipping has a really big impact on that. So you should definitely look into it. I think if it's a really niche type product, then it's going to be a little bit harder. But if you're private label and you can compete for the bigger search terms, and the bigger searches like kitchen towels is a high volume search on Walmart, then this is really going to help. Where it's been a little bit harder, like we've had some like Etsy type tools, where it's a very niche type product, and there you don't see as big of a bump. But even in that case, selling on a marketplace isn't always the best distribution channel for that type of item. So hope that helps. If you're going after these big searches, you should definitely look at 2-day shipping and sponsor products for sure.
Thanks, Michael. Next question we had was, does 2-day shipping work with Walmart DSV, Marketplace, or both?
Sure, I can take that up. So 2-day shipping works for both, for Marketplace as well as DSV. So if you are, enrolled as a DSV, definitely you can leverage that as well.
So for Deliverr, though, we do not handle DSV. We only handle Marketplace as of today.
Awesome. Let's see, next one we have here. And I saw we had answered this, but we should just, I guess, address it in full. How does the 2-day delivery program work for weekends? When is the cutoff? Do Saturdays and Sundays count?
Okay, I can take this one. Actually, that's a good question, I must say. So let's talk about the cutoff. Cutoff is 2 p.m. Fixed local time, whichever you decide. If you're on East Coast, that's going to be your local time. If you're in West Coast, you can decide the BST. So that's how the cutoff works. Now, in terms of calculations, so we calculate 2 business days, not the calendar days. So the weekends are not included in the promise time, which is given to the customer for the 2-day delivery. For instance, if you place an order, on Friday, you would get the 2-day delivery time as Tuesday, because that's when it's going to be 2-day, and likewise. So that's how the calculation works.
Awesome. Thanks, Amit. Next one is pretty interesting one. I know we run into this with our sellers that might have different prices on Amazon and Walmart, and they are blocked sometimes. So the question is, our price parity to other channels is based on free ground value shipping. Can we raise our prices to offer 2-day shipping without the listing being blocked by Walmart for price parity?
So this would probably go to Amit, correct?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Amit, you're on mute.
Yeah, so Ian, can you repeat the question again?
Sure thing. Essentially, they're wondering, so they said our price parity to other channels is based on free ground value shipping.
right?
Can we raise our prices to offer 2-day shipping without the listing being blocked by Walmart for price parity?
Right. So that's a good question. Now, in the presentation, I did say that we did share an example with a SKU which had a higher price. But again, if you notice, the price was very less in terms of few cents, which was higher. So as far as the pricing rules are concerned, there is a delta range through which we ensure that it remains within that parameters and boundaries. And if it remains within that, only then it wins the buy box. If it moves out, then probably again it's not within the buy box because of the pricing rules it's not capturing. So again, there's a thin line of how much you can increase, but if you're trying to increase a lot in order to cover those charges, it may not work in your favor.
Okay. Next one is just how quickly can a new seller get approved for Walmart 2-day shipping?
Sure, I can take this one. So there are two ways to look at it. If you're a new seller and doing seller fulfilled, that is fulfilling by yourself, then you would need to be on the platform for 90 days and have 100 transactions. And if you can do that within a week or two, so that can be taken care of, because we just need to ensure that you can deliver on that promise. On the contrary, if you're a new seller and if you are collaborating with Deliverr, we can exempt that and you'll be pre-approved in this specific program.
Awesome. Michael, I think the next one is for you. And the question is there any difference between using Deliverr or using FBA as a third-party fulfillment source?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, it comes down to the channels. So right now, Deliverr doesn't do Amazon Seller Fulfilled Prime. And so, FBA's main focus is Amazon Prime, but FBA doesn't do Walmart 2-day and it doesn't do eBay Guaranteed Delivery. So I would say in terms of the experience, it should be similar. The only difference being that FBA does, customer service and Deliverr doesn't do customer service. But I would say the biggest difference comes into what channels you want to do. So most cases, what you'll see is a merchant will put, a portion of their inventory in FBA for Amazon, and then a portion of their inventory into Deliverr for Walmart, eBay, and potentially their Shopify site, which is getting a little bit more popular now. And from that, they'll have a staging warehouse that basically does returns and prep for both. And that's the typical setup right now, I would say. So yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, I know for our sellers in particular, and with Walmart's T's and C's, I mean, they pretty explicitly state they don't want cross-channel fulfillment from FBA. So, I mean, just to go by the book, it's best practices to go through someone like Deliverr. Next one is for Amit. There are minimum sales total requirements in order to participate in, are there minimum sales total requirements in order to participate in Walmart's 2-day shipping program? As a new seller utilizing Deliverr, would we be exempt from these requirements to participate?
Yes.
Correct, you would.
Absolutely, you would be exempted, because again, the reason Deliverr comes into picture is they promise that they would be delivering the orders within 2 days, and they take that responsibility. So we are more than happy if you're taking that route. You'll be exempted and you'll be pre-approved in the program.
Awesome. Next one, can we specify only, let me read this a little bit. Okay. Essentially they're asking, can we specify which ASINs they want to offer 2-day shipping on?
Yes. So the way you can exactly define which region, and within those region, which states you want to enable the 2-day program, the SKUs which you want to enable on the 2-day program. So through an override, or even if you go within Seller Center, the interface, you can select specific states if you're doing your entire assortment. But if you want to customize it, you can use the item spec, where within that you have the shipping program overrides, where you select and define which states you want to enable the 2-day SKUs.
And on the Deliverr side, if you are using Deliverr, the items in Deliverr are going to show the 2-day badge, and the items not in Deliverr that you're self-fulfilling will not show the 2-day badge. So that's a good way to test out some stuff with Deliverr, and then for items that aren't in Deliverr, stay self-fulfilling. Now, this is for if you're using a listing tool like SellerActive.
Yeah, and another thing which I'd like to highlight here is there are at times a question comes, can I do a hybrid model, which means you are putting few SKUs on today through Deliverr, your top selling SKUs, and you also want to leverage your own warehouse to put another set of SKUs on today. Yes, you can do that, and that's applicable.
Awesome. The next one is we typically sell pallets all one SKU. We prefer not to break up into smaller shipments. Will Deliverr allow us to send these to one location?
So for some of our larger sellers, we've opened up that program. Right now it is invite only. It's something that we're going to look at expanding to the broader seller base later this year, and we'll provide updates on that as we near that date. So it's something we're actively working on, but yeah.
Awesome. The next one is that it looks like a seller doesn't need the order management or the inventory management pieces of SellerActive software. We are just interested in the content pushing piece of things. Is that something that we're able to utilize in the system? That is something that we can do. While we recommend that people utilize our full solution because we do provide both inventory and order management for our sellers on top of repricing, it's something that we are getting requests to do. And so if you want to learn more information about that, feel free to just email us at sales@selleractive.com, and we can go into that a bit more with you. Ideally, we can get you on the full solution in conjunction with Deliverr and Walmart, so we could take that from there. The next question is also for SellerActive, and it is, will SellerActive create product listings on Walmart, or will that need to be done independently? That's done directly through us. So we have a lot of great tools to create listings for you, not only on Walmart, but also Amazon and eBay simultaneously. We can optimize your listings. You can manage the content through us. You can do a lot of different things. So once again, feel free to email us at sales@selleractive.com, and we can provide you a demo of the software for you and show you how it works. The last question that we have at the moment is, actually, we have one more, but do we have to use Deliverr if we sign up for the 2-day shipping option?
I can take that up. No, you do not have to use Deliverr mandatorily. Again, like I said, there are two ways how you can fulfill the orders. One is seller fulfilled, wherein you can use and leverage your own facilities in order to deliver the orders within 2 days. But if you want to leverage Deliverr as our partner to enable the 2-day SKUs across the nation, you can definitely use that option as well. So whatever suits you, you can choose. We have both the options on the platform based on your requirements. You can pick whatever you like.
Awesome. I saw that Michael had answered this one, but just to reiterate, can SellerActive or Deliverr help us get approved for the Walmart marketplace? We certainly can. We have, both of us have contacts there, and if you reach out to us and you go through our partner application link, we could ping Walmart and try to get that approval expedited for you. The next question I saw on there was, are there discounts for shipping to Deliverr like Amazon FBA has?
Yeah, so that's true. You can use our discounted rates if you're sending individual boxes. So we don't yet have it if you're sending pallets, but if you're sending individual boxes, you do get to leverage our discounted rates.
Awesome. The next, someone just put in a question that actually is pretty interesting. It says that we have a lot of SKUs where they only have a quantity of one. Michael, I guess for you, have you guys seen other sellers that are doing that at this point? Is that the typical use case for you? Can they still use Deliverr essentially?
For Deliverr, you have to send a minimum of 10 units per SKU, and the reason is that for a SKU, it'll sit in 4 warehouses. And so that's why we start at that 10 units. It shouldn't be too much, but for certain sellers that do like to sell one-offs, this is not the best program for you. This tends to be better for items that you think are going to have at least a few orders a month, where 10 units per SKU makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's all the questions we have at the moment. We want to give you guys one more opportunity to fire away with a few more questions. So Now's your time to do that. Let's see here. Oh, no, here's one more question that I think we missed. For Walmart performance ads in particular, can you campaign for custom keywords / search terms with Walmart performance ads?
Not yet. It's coming. Right now, you place a campaign on a SKU, and then from there, you can pick on, they're going to automatically figure out what keywords to target. So they're working on keyword-based targeting. We'll obviously send out an announcement when that goes live for our merchants.
Awesome. Yeah, and I mean, with the Walmart performance ads, I mean, as they spoke about, Amit and Michael both, they're seeing tremendous results, and I think you guys should be really excited about that.
Yeah, so for our initial, if this helps, I mean, for our initial sellers, we had a case study about Drive Auto products. They were using sponsored products. Even though you don't get some of the customization that you get like with other advertising platforms on other marketplaces, again, the competition is so low that the cost per click should be lower than what you normally pay. And so like for Drive Auto, in his case, the cost per click, I think, was a third of what he usually pays on Amazon for sponsored products. So not to say that's the norm, but again, less competition on Walmart really helps things, even though things aren't fully built out on some of the tools side of things.
Cool. Let's see. We have a couple other ones that have come in. If Deliverr runs out of inventory at one location, do they move it, or does SellerActive have to?
Or do the seller? Does the seller have to?
Oh, does the seller have to?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a great question. We will sometimes reallocate inventory, and I mean, it really kind of comes down to how much volume is coming out of those SKUs. If there's not too much volume out of those SKUs, we'll just ping you and say, like, if you can just replenish, it's just faster that way. But for some of our really fast moving SKUs on this program, like they're actively being reallocated in the network because there's just so much velocity. Now we try to get it right when we tell you how much to send where. And you're going to start seeing, we're going to tell you also when you lose national coverage on the 2-day badge. And we try to keep that coverage up as long as possible. But there'll be complete visibility in terms of where you're showing the badge and when you stop showing the badge. Now, you're going to stop showing the badge when you're going to be pretty low stock on inventory across all the different locations. So when you have like less than 10 units on a SKU available, expect that the badge is going to start going away. If you have like over 100 units on a SKU available, you're golden. Like, you're going to be showing the badge pretty much everywhere unless something really weird happened and everyone in California wanted to buy your inventory for some reason. Very rare cases like that happen.
Awesome. Another question, do you have to use SellerActive in order to integrate with Deliverr? You definitely don't have to use SellerActive. They have a lot of other awesome partners as well.
Yeah.
Michael, I don't know if you want to list some of those.
There's a lot of other options. I mean, some that come to mind, you have like Sellbrite, you have Zentel, Channel Advisor. Each one is a different, it depends on your needs and kind of where you're at and what you kind of need. SellerActive on those side of things is really strong on the repricing side. So like a lot of our big resellers are on SellerActive. And so I think the other piece that we have a direct integration with Walmart that is free of charge. The one caveat with that integration, there's two caveats with that integration. Number one is that you need to move over all of your SKUs for that integration to work. Number two is that it'll only be for Walmart. So if you want to connect eBay or Amazon or your own Shopify store to Deliverr, you wouldn't be able to do that if you use our direct integration with Walmart. If you use SellerActive, you can connect all these different channels, and you can also select which SKUs you want on the 2-day program versus others that you don't want in Deliverr.
Yep. Go ahead, Amit.
There's one question which is pretty interesting. Somebody asks, if you use your own 2-day delivery, do you still win the buy box? Now, again, to clear the air here, winning the buy box is independent of the way how you fulfill. So that's a fulfillment option. Winning a buy box is a component of, do you have a flag? What's your pricing? And, how exactly you're performing. So again, that's independent.
Sure. Let's see. We have time for just a couple more. Thanks, guys, for continuing to send some in here. To one of these questions, we won't be at Expo West in Anaheim next week. SellerActive will be at ASD as well as Prosper here in a couple of weeks. But are Walmart or Deliverr going to be at Expo West?
We won't, unfortunately. We'll let you guys know which conferences are coming up that we'll be attending. But right now, not on our list.
Yeah, even we are not. But again, I can confirm you on that.
Sure. I would assume we'll all be at IRCE, so you guys can meet us there. Another great question here was, let's see, does Deliverr throttle and manage velocity? We're a high-volume shipper and have to hold back inventory sometimes.
Throttle and manage velocity. So we do not do that. I'm assuming, would SellerActive do that? I mean, do you do inventory buffers?
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah,
With us in particular.
That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. So we handle the quantity buffer side of things within our platform. You can set a buffer for the marketplace and essentially remove your listings once they get to a certain threshold. So, feel free to reach out to us and we could set that up for you. If you're a seller of ours, you can just email support@selleractive.com or just go directly for, through sales@selleractive.com as well. Let's see here. I think we can wrap up with this last one. Can we handle multiple warehouses each, handling different SKUs in different geography? Example, we will have all SKUs for 2-day, but different geographies depending on this warehouse.
Yes, definitely you can do that. And the way you can do that is you can enable those SKUs for the specific state where you want to enable the 2-day. So that's how it works for the seller fulfilled.
Cool. Well, I think at this point, that's going to wrap it up for today. We really appreciate all of you guys coming here. Just a heads up for you, there will be a recording of this webinar going out. What we've seen successful in the past, we should have a kind of like a little, schedule on that email that will show different parts of the webinar and what was covered in it. Once again, feel free to reach out to Deliverr or SellerActive, and we're happy to chat with you further. With SellerActive in particular, it's sales@selleractive.com. Michael, do you guys have a point of contact over there? Is there? Oh, there we go. Cool. Perfect.
Yeah, I would go info@Deliverr, and then you can also live chat if you want to. We have people there. You can also, if you just want to talk to sales and actually schedule a meeting, just go to deliverr.com, and then underneath sign up, it says need more info, let's chat. You can just book on a rep's calendar. So there's a lot of different ways if you want to get in touch with us. You can.
Awesome.
And the last thing which I'd like to talk about is from a program standpoint, if you want to learn more how exactly that works, specifically the configuration, feel free to use the seller help documents, which the links will be provided to you on the slide as we would be emailing this. You'll have all the information and pre-listed FAQs, which would help you to seamlessly configure your SKUs onto the program.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thanks everyone for joining us today. Michael and Amit, really appreciate you guys coming on as well. We're really excited to see where this thing goes and, build out these integrations further and continue providing people with an awesome solution to help them expand their sales. Have a great day, everyone. Hope you have a great end of your month. I know it's end of month for everyone, so do a great job, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.